Strap in, folks. It's a long one.
God, it's my favorite part of the week.
Friday?
Not Friday, just assessment time. Like, I enjoy watching the videos and everything, but I don't know. I look so forward to just sitting down and reflecting and analyzing and discussing with you. You know? Is it a winner?
We have hoodies and blankets,
We're not pleased about it.
but we are not wearing coats. I refuse to get the coats out yet because it is going to be in the 80s next week.
Yes.
It's just today and tomorrow, or maybe chilly. Like, I don't even know what to put Isaac in tomorrow.
For football, he'll be running. Like, we can do, I'm thinking like shorts and a hoodie. And we can take the hoodie off when the game starts or even when practice starts. Isaac starts football tomorrow. I'm living a dream I didn't know I had.
Well, that was like when Hannah started dance. Even to a certain extent when Bradley started gymnastics. Like, I did kind of like Parks and Rec gymnastics. Once when I was like 5. And I pretty much knew then that it was never going to be me because could not do handstands to save my life. But I have this memory of riding in my mom's car. Like, my mom was driving. I was, be in the back seat. And it must have been in the morning, like early in the morning or something, that we would go to these little practices or whatever. And I remember eating McDonald's hash browns. They're so good.
Yeah.
So, like, those two are like linked in my brain, and also just like wherever this gym was, I think it was like maybe like a high school gym or something, but I had like this, I had a shirt, they gave like shirts with this thing, and I think it was green, but there was like a particular smell associated with, I don't know if it was the gym or the shirt or what. I couldn't even begin to describe what the smell was. It wasn't like bad, but it was very like, I don't even know. I can't even explain it. It's just like, these things are linked to my mind. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, but yes, football. It'll be a good opportunity to let Blaze run around, too.
Am I bringing Blaze with?
Well, I think he'll nap for the first part.
Okay.
And then whenever the game starts, then hopefully he'll be done with his nap by then.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll shoot you a message when we're ready for game time. Okay. All right.
Because it's right up here at the park.
Yes.
It's like we don't have to drive anywhere.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, happy birthday, Connor. 2 years old.
Ah, yes. As of Saturday?
As of now.
Okay, as of now. Yeah, we're starting this one a bit late.
Yeah, it's almost 1. Holy cow. All right, so let's dive in. So episode 2, Diamonds in the Sky. We open on a couple of...
Okay. It took me a minute to figure out what that was about.
We open on a couple of gets on a busted ship with a chicken.
Guys.
Okay. I think these are the guys that escaped with Dr. Smith, but I'm not sure.
They were.
One wakes up and tries to free himself, but the crash jammed all their seatbelts. He drops his knife, so he calls to Smith and has her toss him her knife. He rolls up his buckle and unclasps, then climbs his way over to Smith. The ship is balanced on the edge of a cliff, by the way. They climb out without moving into a title card. Yeah, he's like, climb without moving. I'm like, what?
What? But, you know, contextually, you kind of get it. Like, don't shift the ship. Get out, but, you know, don't rock things. It was a very Lost World, Jurassic Park type scene with the trailer off the cliff.
The trailer?
Yeah. You know, hanging off the cliff.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. Did we catch the mechanic's name?
Nope. The
Okay.
entire episode we sure didn't. So you'll get a name.
Okay. So it was him and a female mechanic, and then they met Dr. Smith on the way out at the end of last episode. But right now we only have male mechanic and Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to our heroes. It's morning now, and Maureen is examining their new robot friend, who is shut down at the moment. She tries talking to it, but Will explains that robot is alone and his ship crashed, and he helped it, so that's why it's helping them.
Checks out.
It wakes up and melts its way into the ice. John notices the rip in Will's sleeve from when the robot attacked him, but Will lies about it to cover for his robot friend. I don't think John bought that entirely.
It was when I fell. Okay.
Back with Smith and Expendable Guy and Chicken, they scavenge around for supplies. Smith finds the real Smith's photo album and conceals it. Also, she claims the necklace as hers. Expendable number 1 finds his friend, and she's dead, so he loots her body.
Like you do.
Then he fires off a flare.
Yeah, she's like, isn't that your friend? He's like, she'd do the same to me. Like, oh, okay.
So it's really hard to get a read on Smith because she was like going on about, it's disrespectful to the body and we shouldn't we bury it, like have some compassion kind of thing. Like, okay, what's her deal? Again, kind of getting like this strong yang vibe.
Yeah. Like, you don't know, is she always playing a part? Has she shown any of her true self yet, or just through her actions? I mean, she just seems like a compulsive liar.
Sorry.
I've known compulsive liars. It's annoying.
You have?
Oh, yeah. Donna.
Oh, yeah. We shall not speak, because I cannot speak charitably. Back at camp, Judy is emotionally dealing with her near-death experience when they hear a mysterious roar over the mountains. Robot, meanwhile, is wandering around the ship, expunging the water and drying everything out, while John works inside. They face off. What the hell are you? Robot responds with a sparkly face. Back with the villains? Expendable number 1 spots the parachute, so they decide to go find the other survivor. He makes Smith put on moon boots because sharp moon rocks are a real thing, and he grabs the chicken. Also, he's a little flirty.
He is a little flirty. He's like, he said something about, like, I remind you of someone, don't I? Ex-lover, maybe? Brother. Oh, okay. But yeah, super sharp moon rocks are a real thing. Like, every time, if you see footage of the first moon landing, every time the astronauts fall over, and it's really funny looking, but it was actually like a super huge safety concern, because every time they fell over, they thought they could slice their suit open on a rock, because, no water to smooth the rocks out, not a lot of wind, so it's just jagged, like glass, like broken glass.
But they call them diamonds.
They did. Okay. And he even squeezes one to demonstrate, yeah, these are really fucking sharp. He was even like, they basically might be diamonds, but they're deadly.
Back at camp, the family have preoccupied the ship and are a bit more comfortable, but are busy with repairs and stuff. Penny finds the robot creepy. They 3D print a leg brace for a Marine, and can we deal for a second about the fact that that's a real thing now?
Right? Like, straight up.
Yeah.
You can do that now.
Uh-huh.
This was 7 years ago, and it was probably, like, it was a thing, but a little bit more of in its infancy.
Really?
Yeah.
The show was 7 years ago?
2017, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I
thought this just came out.
It was like 3 seasons already. And it's over.
Super weird. Okay. Awkward moment between John and Judy. Judy thanks the robot for saving her life. He sparkles in reply. Maureen tries on the leg brace. It's highly effective. So she bosses Penny around about fixing the filters. Mom and Dad are giving her conflicting orders, and I empathize with her so hard right now. She finds a playing card.
It's a conversation you and I have had recently about, yeah, we should probably make sure that we're, like, unified in what we're telling the kids to do. It's hard, man.
Yeah, because, like, you'll be fine with one thing, and I'm over here like, you know?
Yeah,
that's 100%
generally
how it goes all the time.
Every time.
That reminds me, I have something I want to run by you later.
Oh, boy.
It's not bad, just whatever. Alright, she finds a playing card, then sees an explosion in the distance. Maureen and John agree that the girls should hear the parents speaking with one voice, and that voice is hers. And I'm like, Maureen, I want to kick you in the balls.
A little bit. She's playing the bitch card hard.
Mm-hmm.
That voice is mine. He's just like...
Alright, so John tells Will to tag along. Does Mom know? Just get your gear. Maureen gives the girls some orders for while they're gone to get the ship ready. She leaves them a big-ass lucky whiteboard to-do list. She leaves it for Penny because Judy is in charge of getting the ship up out of the ice.
Oh, okay.
John tries to 3D print a gun, but is rejected because of safety protocols. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Again, real thing. I remember the time when we first got a copier at my parents' house, like a combination scanner printer. First thing I did was put a $1 bill in it and try to copy it and see what it would do. It printed about 10% of it and then print out a link as to why counterfeiting is illegal. It's like, fuck you, printer.
Well, I was coming at it from more of a gun control aspect. Like, okay. Maureen, John, Will, and Robot set out to examine the explosion, with Maureen sniping at John some more. He asks, "You trust that thing?" She said, "It brought Will back safe and saved Judy. That's the sort of thing that builds trust."
Oh, that's a very pointed example. Okay.
And back with the other two, Expendable number 1 asks Smith what kind of doctor she is. She says she's a therapist. He presses her, saying her necklace is a St. Christopher medal. He says he prefers to look after himself, not trust someone else, doctor or saint. So he's clearly coming at from a maybe raised religiously, but has left the faith. Clearly Catholic, because saints are
a Catholic thing.
A Catholic thing.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
Yeah, I was like, They find the parachuter. He thinks she's dead, so he commences looting, but she gasps. So what do? Back at the ship, Penny annoys Judy with a package of Oreos. Judy tells her to wait, but Penny says it must be a reward, so she opens it, but then an alarm goes off. The pipe is clogged again. Whatever. Penny goes outside and sees a storm coming. She's like, every time I come out here, it gets worse. She wants to go find them, but Judy tells her to calm down and let the others fend for themselves. Shame hyper-focused on following orders to a T.
Wait, what?
She's hyper-focused on following orders to a T. She can't risk destabilizing the ice. But Penny's all like, nah, it'll be fine, and blasts the ice with lasers or something. They uncover the chariot, a mile-like vehicle in the... Mule-like vehicle in the garage, but some assembly required. And Penny's just like, are you fucking kidding me? She doesn't say that, but her face says it all.
Her face says all. The facial acting, like all the acting is great, but Penny's facial acting is is on point.
The others find the other Jupiter crash site, but no survivors nearby. They hear a monstery sound, the same one Will heard near Robot's crashed ship. Robot's face is looking less blue and more orange.
Uh-oh.
John says they need to head back, but Maureen wants to investigate the robot's crash site. Will votes in Maureen's favor, apologizing to John. We shouldn't wander with an 11-year-old kid and a gimpy wife. I'm not. What? Gimpy or my wife? Ooh.
She was walking away and she kind of stops for a second and just keeps going.
Well, she's bitchy. I have issues with Maureen. Back with the villains, Expendable Number 1 carries Angela with them as they press on. More flirting and stuff.
Yeah.
Angela is the survivor they found.
Mm-hmm.
Penny works on prepping the chariot, but Judy's still dealing with PTSD. So Penny decides to leave without Judy, despite the fact that Judy is licensed to drive it and Penny isn't. Penny drives a bit and tries radioing her parents, but they don't answer, so she eats a cookie.
Like you do.
Like you do. It was very crunchy. By the way, Blaze, earlier today, he wanted to see what was in the cupboard, so I opened it up, and he was very interested in the big box of cookies.
I'm sure he was.
So I got a package out, and I gave him one, and I think he thought it was going to be a cracker, because it has, like, it's the Oreos, right?
Sure.
So it's like, and he went, but he ate the whole thing. He's like, and he kind of looked at me like, why have you been hiding this from me? How dare you?
And my question is, why did you introduce him to this? How dare you?
Because he has all of his teeth first now. Well,
He will be begging for that cabinet forever now.
Yep. Just like Isaac did with the Pop-Tarts, and we got through it.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Discipline is hard.
Alright, so the chariot engages winter mode, so she drives on, because it's just like bumper cars, except everybody dies. Like, she's so I told Joe, and this was before I knew that this was 2017, like, she would fit into the Stranger Things cast so beautifully. Like, she's got that kind of light sort of, like, she can do drama well. She's got the lightheartedness. She's got the deadpan humor. Like, I want to petition to get this actress in Stranger Things.
Yeah, right.
Also, still Michael Keaton. He's having the comeback with, Beetlejuice, and they like to
A little bit of Batman.
and they like to reinsert, like, 80s
That's true.
icons, and I'm like, get Michael Keaton in Stranger Things.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
5. I don't know who you'd play. Doesn't matter. Alright, the villains are getting nowhere slowly, so they stop to rest and fire off another flare. You say villains. Smith is a villain. Expendable Number 1, kind of a douchebag, but I think he's supposed to be the Matt LeBlanc character.
Oh. Oh, okay.
From the movie. So I feel like they're gonna all connect at some point, and he's gonna have a thing for Judy or whatever. Like, that was in the movie.
I don't know if I'm okay with that.
Well,
but
Judy is, I mean, she's supposed to be old. Like, whoever they got to play this chick, like, she's doing a fine job. And, the race thing is kind of weird again. Like, it must have been an adopted sort of situation, or
prior relationship. Like,
she's either Maureen's daughter from another relationship, or John's daughter from another relationship.
Gotta
and
be
somebody, adoption, whatever. But she's also a lot younger than I think the character is supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
if what you're saying is true, then I would think so.
Heather Graham played her in the movie.
Weird.
And even then it was, Heather Graham. I mean, that was also about the time that she was doing, Austin Powers and whatever. So it's like, I feel like that actress should have been a little older. But then again, when you look at like Penny and Will,
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, you can't get much older without making that weird.
But,
I'm calling them villains because it's just easier.
Sure.
And I mean, that resolves itself by the end of the episode, so we're fine.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, they're getting nowhere slowly, so they stop to rest and fire off another flare. Smith snaps her necklace, so Expendable Number 1 offers to fix it. They talk about her brother. Apparently, he died in a car wreck. Should have bought 2. Ha. Also, Dag.
Yeah, did you catch that? So she's going on about how her brother got her this necklace, the St. Christopher necklace, and he died in a car wreck. Because St. Christopher, patron saint of traveling, should have bought 2.
Yeah, I got that. I don't know what you meant by also Dag.
Oh, just dang. Like,
Oh, it's
dark.
supposed to be Dang?
Well, no, dag, just.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But, yeah, so the brother that they've been talking about, oh, I remind you of your brother. But, like, he's dead. Why aren't you traveling with him? He left Earth before I did. In a car wreck. Ooh.
Well, and just, like, the knowledge that both of them have. Well, I will no. She may not have had that knowledge because he told her when they were first discussing the necklace, when he was kind of psychoanalyzing her, he said it's the St. Christopher medal for travelers.
Okay.
So she may not have known that.
Well, but that still informs her comment that should have bought 2, because
Right. So I want to try to remember to circle back to that. They discuss what to do with Angela. The missing family Robinson press on and find the crash site. The adults enter, leaving their young son behind with the killbot. Inside, the show turns into the movie Alien, minus Ripley. She snipes at him some more. Outside, Will finds a pretty flower and adds it to his bag, discovering a baseball his dad put in there earlier. He teaches the killbot to play catch. John watches from the window, conflicted. And I actually kind of missed all this because I was looking up the actor who played John, because I'm like, I kind of feel like I maybe have seen him in something. His name seems familiar, but Will tells the killbot he always wanted his dad to come back, but now that he's here. And then the robot, wait, pause, because this is when I made a mind-melting realization when I was looking this guy up on IMDb. Toby Stevens. Stephens. Not familiar with his father, really.
he was a sir.
His mother is none other than Dame Maggie Smith.
Fucking what?
He played the villain in the 2002 Bond film, Die Another Day. He's done the voice acting for Bond in, like, radio shows. He's British, and he takes on the American accent so perfectly that I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's British. And then I saw his mom was freaking Maggie Smith, and I'm like, what the frick? He also played Poseidon in that Percy Jackson TV series, which Briley loves, so I cannot wait to tell Briley that Poseidon is McGonagall's son.
Canonically, they're connected now. Same universe, those two.
Like, dude, joke quips. He's like, I didn't even know she had kids.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so we had to deal with that for a second.
It took a minute.
Also really had to pee at the time. All right. Anyway, the robot goes to retrieve the ball, but when it touches the ship, it sinks with it, turning orange. Inside, all the little gizmos start turning on, freaking out the adults. And Maureen's like, "What did you do?" They're presented with a hologram map of the planet they're on. Maureen plays with it a bit, realizing they can zoom out to examine the galaxy. That ain't the Milky Way, so where are they? I don't know, name it.
Yeah. So they're like, we went way farther than we were supposed to. So when we saw them go through that black hole at the, or wormhole, I guess, in the first episode, they were not aware that they had done that. So they are very far from, I won't call it home, because Marine refuses to call it home, but yeah, they're out of their element in a big way.
Yeah. Robot regains his memory, and it turns out he enjoys killing all humans. All right, Bender. Kill all humans. Will figures this out quickly and bolts. And I got the impression that they were mind melding a little bit.
Yeah. Like, you didn't just read it on the robot's sparkly face. He saw everything somehow. Yeah. So he was like, you did that.
Yeah. So he is freaked out and bolts. Robot finds him and Will asks him why he attacked them. But then he says, "But you're not like that anymore, are you?" He gives it some test commands and it obeys. He gives it the Isaac test to confirm its obedience and it passes. Not our Isaac, biblical Isaac.
Thank you for catching that.
At first I was like, what? Has Isaac been, like, trust testing Blaze or something?
It would be very easy to do. Blaze trust tests himself.
Oh man, he is all about climbing on the sectional. Like, he likes to climb up on it, and then he likes to try to climb off of it, not realizing that pain.
It doesn't work well in reverse.
I think he's figured that out because he'll climb over on top of it from my piano chair, but then he started running around instead of trying to go back the other way, because I was assisting him when he was going the other way, but he inevitably conked his chin, and I think he was like, "Nah, fuck that."
It's only fun one way. He discovered the same concept at the playground today. Like, I can climb up the stairs and slide down the slide, but climbing up the slide does not lead to sliding down the stairs. That doesn't work.
That kid is a climber. Oh my gosh.
In every way except his crib.
I don't think he can quite. I think he tries. He can't quite. And I think that's why he gets
There's no footing. What he's going to do is, because he loves jumping on the bed, he's going to vault over the edge of the crib.
I don't think the mattress has enough boing, but...
Don't underestimate that boy.
He decided to wear his pizza tonight. That was fun.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. He was hungry.
Isaac, too.
He wanted a fourth slice.
Angling for a fourth slice after, like, 3 slices of pizza. And not leaving, like, a bunch of pizza and the crust. Like, no, it was crusts he was giving me. And then popcorn and, I think, an apple. An icy pop after he went poop on the potty. And then he was like...
And after ice cream, too.
Even after ice cream, he was asking for pizza?
Yeah. I think.
Oh, boy.
Can I have another slice of pizza? No! Back off! I want my leftovers. You have no idea how important leftover pizza is to me at 1 a.m. on a Friday night. Back off.
So, what I'm getting here, though, going back to the show, the robot only obeys Will. Everyone else tries to talk to it, and he's just like, "I will not kill you."
Well, and they're asking it like questions that require a verbal answer. Will's the only one that's like, you gotta tell it to do stuff, man.
But he also asks the robot questions. But again, I think there's this kind of mind meld thing going on.
Maybe, but they're also somewhat rhetorical questions, or like, he doesn't seem to expect a verbal answer.
Right. And I think it's like the imprinting thing, right? He basically helped by saving the robot, he basically helped it become reborn, and the robot is now imprinted on Will, and Will is my master now, which kind of begs the question, who was the original master?
Yeah, because as they pointed out, this thing is built. It is not a bioorganism.
It's synthetic.
I actually, going back to the Bender analogy, the Penguin episode.
Yeah.
Bender gets traumatically injured and has to reboot, and when he reboots, he automatically scans for the nearest immediate life form and takes on that life form's mannerisms and language.
Hey, the penguin.
Yeah, so he became penguin-esque.
All right.
I assume it's something similar, because Futurama is canon.
For all things.
For all things.
All right, hang on.
You're doing the Heather Graham thing from Scrubs.
Heather Graham again.
Kielbasa. Yeah.
Something like, I love sausage.
Best conversation ever.
Smith and Expendable Number 1, meanwhile, are caught in the storm with Angela. They find shelter when Smith complains that she lost her necklace, so he goes back to retrieve it for her. She tells him to stay with Angela, and she goes out to find help. She leaves her medal with him and tells him to fire off the flare when the time is right. That's how she'll find them. She leaves, and he kisses the medal.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly raised Catholic.
Yep.
And as much as he puts up a front and tries to deny, it always comes back, man.
Starting to get some pseudo-Mal vibes from Firefly, right?
Sure.
Kissing the cross in the pilot episode, but by the end of it, he's lost his faith. Yeah, there's something there.
And as much
I
as
think
he
I need to rename him. I don't think he's expendable anymore.
No. As much as Mal, has lost his faith, and as much as he banters with Shepard, there's still that lingering respect.
Yeah, there's a reason why he looks to Shepard as a confidant and a advisor.
Again, he comes at it from a very cynical perspective, and I think that's a big reason why, as much as he cares for Inara, he has a problem with her profession. That lingered.
Sure.
Anyway, off topic.
Off topic, but awesome.
Yep. So Will and his killbot reunite with the adults while Penny drives through the jungle radioing for the others. The Robinsons come under fire from some space rocks, so they take shelter under a rock. Things are grim when they finally hear from Penny. How do I find you? Look for the light. The killbot is now a lighthouse. Penny retrieves them. Not the doctor. Not the daughter you expected. A robot hangs on to the back and they drive away. Maureen is happy to find the cookies. Finally reunited with Oreos, she finally tells John she was wrong not to let him lead. She apologizes. Character growth!
Hooray!
But she's still kind of bitchy about it.
A little bit. Well, there was that line that was like,
what about tomorrow?
He's like, oh, you are the survivalist. You are experienced in this scenario. I should have listened to you today or something like that. And he's like, what about tomorrow? Oh, we'll deal with that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still retaining her own personality, but I appreciate the growth. I do.
Well, and then Penny quips up like, oh God, I can't remember what she said, but it was something like, so am I only gonna get instructions from one of you now, or something like that? Like she's like
calling it out. Penny's got a little bit of Briley in her.
Back in the cave, Expendable Number 1 sees the chariot and goes to fire the last flare. John makes an executive decision to go help. They pick up Smith first, and she says, "There's no one else with me." Expendable Number 1 realizes she stole the flare gun when he went to get the medal. He throws the medal in disgust, and we see it buried in rock dust. Smith asks Will his name, and bizarrely says, "I always wanted a brother." Huh.
So, which Smith is the real one? She made up a lot of details on the fly if she never had a brother.
Well, the info about her brother dying in a car wreck came out after Expendable Number 1 told her, what's the St. Christopher medal for travelers. And when she quipped, should have had two, like, on the one hand you could see it as like somebody who has lost someone close but still tries to kind of hang on to a certain sort of dark humor about it, or she's bullshitting,
right? Or it was revealing that you wouldn't say that about somebody you were just speaking so sentimentally about.
Yeah.
Compulsive liar. No idea where you're coming from. So she is adopting a new personality now.
Yes.
Just seamlessly transitioning into whatever she thinks is the most beneficial to her in that moment.
Which is going to lead to some... Well, Judy is training to be a doctor.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Now, she could default to, well, not that kind of doctor or psychologist, but I feel like Judy's gonna see through her real quick.
Yeah. Because Judy didn't have much going on for her this episode, so I think she needs some a little bit more development.
Well, so, and actually I kind of want to touch on that here. They make it back to the Jupiter. Penny says to Judy, "You need to go back to being you so I can go back to being me." You said this came out in 2017. That line would not fly in 2024.
You don't think so?
No. And I'm on the fence of how I feel about it, because when you experience something as intense as Judy experienced, where she was suffocating under the ice, like she was moments away from dying, like, props to the show for, addressing like PTSD, but you don't just get over it. And I feel like that line, and you could explain, like, Penny is young, she doesn't understand, she's never been in that kind of situation, she doesn't understand PTSD, you just need to go back to being yourself. But I feel like, I hate to say it because I don't want to give into like this leftist sort of mental health mindset, but I felt like that line was a little tone deaf.
Hmm. I, you know me, you know how I watch TV shows. I tend to take things the way the characters say them, not with the writer's intent in mind.
Yeah,
And
and that's why I'm on the fence about it.
so I took it as a very, that is definitely something a sister would say to a sister.
Well,
Like,
a young sister who does not understand PTSD.
but I also understand what you're saying to a degree. Like, the focus on mental health in our modern day on its face isn't a bad thing, but there's a severe emphasis on, like, not getting over anything.
That's true.
Like,
That is very true. And it's such a fine line to walk because so take this Georgia shooting that just happened.
okay.
You know, the argument from the left is we have to ban these guns and make stricter gun control laws, and it's like, no, we need to focus more on making sure that the people who are obtaining guns are mentally sound, that they don't have severe mental health issues.
True.
But then on the other side of the coin, in regards to mental health, is I don't like what you said. You have triggered me. Now I need. Yeah, I am now suffering PTSD because you said,
You upset me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
It's always something taken to the extreme. Like, you make the slightest allowance for, yes, somebody should get help for a traumatic experience. Well, now everything is a traumatic experience, and all my actions are excused because I had a traumatic experience.
But then, well, put a pin in that. We'll finish this.
One final note. One final note. Because you brought it up that Judy is going through PTSD. And who is Smith claiming to be?
A psychologist.
Yeah. So, is that going to be something that they'll be like, oh, can you help my daughter? You're a psychologist. She's going through PTSD.
Well, and again, what I remember from the movie, this villain, Dr. Smith villain, played by Gary Oldman in the movie, and I don't know what it was like in the show. But it was, I think even in the show, Dr. Smith is a very complicated sort of character, which I'm seeing here because on the one hand, she's saying, well, you know, have respect for the dead, and she kind of didn't say anything, but she asked very pointed questions about, like, what do we do with Angela? Now, that could have been an ulterior motive, but I remember from the movie, Dr. Smith was the villain, the bad guy, but he also developed a relationship with Will. I think that was one of the earlier manifestations of kind of like redeemable villain sort of arcs.
Interesting.
We might need to watch the movie soon.
I'm glad. I was about to say the same thing. Like when we get through this show, and there's 3 seasons, but maybe at the end of it we watch the movie.
I mean, I'd even say let's watch the movie before the show ends.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
I think that'll help
contextualize the characters.
Yes.
Okay.
But we need to watch Fall Guy first.
Right.
And I think we should do that tomorrow.
I think so too.
All right. So yeah. They hug and crush the Oreos. Smith gets out of the chariot and finally sees the robot, possibly recognizing it for what it is. But Will tells her not to worry. He's a good killbot.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed the heck out of this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. What an under the radar show.
Right? I only ever heard about it from my sister. Like, I think I tangentially knew it existed. But...
Yeah, I remember hearing that it was a thing.
Yeah. But this was good.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in what happens next.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Till the next one.